Hello, friends. I had to make sure I wasn't going to step on my glue gun. Welcome back. I'm sorry it's been a while. I have been lost in the void of existence, and, you know, I decided it was probably time to swim back to shore, at least for a brief moment. I've been inspired by this Christmas tree topper that I made last year, which has since fallen apart. It's a biblically accurate angel-inspired Christmas tree topper that I made. As you can see, that is not the topper that we are using this year. Also, I apologize for the ugly background. I'm doing my best here. We have a very small house. I don't have a good filming space, so it is what it is. But let me introduce you to the tree topper that we do have this year. Yee-haw. But Harmony, who made this fantastic hat, you might ask? And the answer is yes, of course, it was me. Who else? Oh, and the best part, wait for it. It's fantastic. Now, I was looking at this hat, and I was looking at this tree topper, and I happened to come across this arm cover, which it looks like I was trying to repurpose it at one point. I think I may have used this for my chia pet arm at some point. I'm pretty sure that these are dead chia roots on here, which I probably should wash off before I do this, but we're coming now upon the holiday season, the most wonderful time of the year, some might say. Who am I to say, who is anyone to say, really, that I myself cannot become a biblically accurate angel? I already have the hat. What's to stop me from making a biblically accurate arm? Who are you to try to stop me? Who are you to try to stop me? That's right, you won't try to stop me because it's a fantastic idea. I don't know exactly how we're gonna accomplish this, but I think I have a game plan that will work. I have a glue gun. I have eyeballs of various sizes. I have white feathers that I purchased at some point for a different project over a year ago, and I have no idea what that project was anymore, so we're gonna use them for this. And I figured we'd just have a chill time while I make myself a really chaotic arm that suits the holiday season. I haven't been really doing a whole lot of stuff for fun these days, so we're leaning into it heavily now with the holidays, trying to amp myself up with a little bit of dopamine because we've been hanging real low on that scale lately. We're gonna work on the floor today because I don't have like a good desk space to do this. There's a spider. Oh god. Ew, where's it going? Where's it going? No! Okay, now that that's dealt with, welcome to my floor. That is my son over there. He tried to randomly come alive earlier, unprompted. So if he randomly starts vacuuming, just know that it's unprompted and he's probably haunted. Okay. I hope that someday in the near future I can have a more dedicated filming space, because I gotta say, like, just filming randomly in my house, I don't know, it doesn't feel very, like, productive. It doesn't feel very beneficial to the creative process, which, as we all know, I am a real artist, TM, and my creative process is very important. Also, I apologize for just the general state of myself. I sort of decided to film this on a whim, and I didn't want to put on nicer clothes if I'm going to be painting and stuff. So I'm just going to take some regular acrylic paint. I have this Liquitex basic acrylic paint, and I'm just going to slap it right on top of this dirty prosthetic here. Not the prosthetic itself, sorry, the cover. I figured we could just kind of have a chill time, have a little floor chat while we do this. It's been a while since I've been here, and I just want to catch you up on the things going on with me. So I have, for the last few months, been sort of caught in this weird limbo space where I feel like I've been trapped in, like, indecision land. I'm not very good at making decisions to begin with, and lately it's been extra bad. I had to take a step back from grad school about 6 months ago, just due to some medical reasons and some personal stuff that I've had going on. But I've been really trying to figure out, like, what I want to do with my life, like what I want to be when I grow up, kind of thing. And I thought that I had it figured out. You know, I'm gonna be 28 in May, and I just thought I had everything figured out. That's the funny thing about life, though, is just when you think you have everything figured out, nope, no you don't. I've been really reconsidering, you know, if I'm not happy in the program that I've been in, what do I want to do? And there are so many things that I can see myself being happy with doing and being good at if I really like commit the time and energy to learn how to do those things well. But there are barriers too. There's, you know, time, there's money is a huge factor. It's a huge barrier for me and a lot of other people when it comes to choosing a career path. And it's just hard, you know? It's hard to know, like, it's hard to know what the right choice is. Sometimes you just have to make a choice and not know if it's the right one, and that can be really scary. But we're doing the best that we can. I have been trying to get my health under control, and thankfully I've made, knock on wood, some progress with that. So hopefully that will remain to be true. My husband is also reconsidering, like, his entire career path. He's looking into changing fields, and he's been very dedicated, worked very hard, and done very well in the field that he's already in. So it's been hard. It's a growing period for both of us. And the thing about growing is that sometimes growing just sucks, you know? It's easier to stay where you are, to stay content, to just keep going in the direction that you're going. But sometimes you just outgrow old things and you have to move on. So we've both been going through some of that lately. But we're growing together. We're doing the best that we can to support each other through that process. And that's all that we can do. I wasn't trying to come heavy out of the gate to this video with like a real intense like emotional dump, but I think it's important to talk about, and you know, it's my reality. It's been my life for a few months now, and it's a big part of the reason why I haven't really felt all that creative. It's also really hard to be creative too when like you don't have the resources or the space to do so, and both of those things have been a big challenge for me lately. But I'm using some supplies that I already had, and you know what? It's the holiday season. It's time. It's time that we give me the arm that I deserve. The biblically accurate arm that I deserve. You know, it's so funny. I posted a TikTok recently of, oh god, it's Velcro. Velcro stuck to me. I thought it was the paint that dried on me. It's funny, I posted a TikTok not that long ago of somebody who, and I get these comments pretty often, unfortunately. Thankfully not much anymore because I don't spend a whole lot of time out in public, so I don't really give people too much of an opportunity to do this. But I had somebody comment on one of my videos, you know, your arm would grow back if you just prayed hard enough. Which, like, we all know about the scientific validity of that statement, but moving on, that person said something to the effect of, oh, I've seen it happen before with my own 2 eyes. I saw someone's leg grow back. They just commented this unprompted on an unrelated video of me. I can't even remember what the video was, but it was just a video of me. Nothing about growing limbs or anything like that. And even if it had been, why would you say such a thing? I don't know. Some people just don't understand the harm that they're doing by saying things like that, and how like truly deeply embedded within them the ableism is. It's just rough, man. Anyway, I've had people say similar things to me in person as well, as a kid too. There's, in my opinion, no weirder experience than having someone come up to you when you're like 7 years old, a literal child, and being like, oh, honey, I'm gonna pray for you. And if you pray, maybe your arm will grow back. Huh? Bro, what? Anyway, I painted this cover. We put a coat on it here. We're just gonna give it a second to dry, and then I will touch up any spots that need touching up, and then we're gonna go in with some hot glue, which my gun is already heating up over here, and we're gonna glue some eyeballs on this thing. And some feathers. Let's see, what else has been going on with me? Oh, something really exciting that I can't wait to share with you all. I want to tell you about a little bit at least. I decided to start writing a book. If you've ever heard of the November writing challenge called NaNoWriMo, it's the National Novel Writing Month, I think is what it stands for. My husband and I both participated in that this last month. And it was really cool. You know, I always liked writing as like a teenager, and you know, if you were like me and you spent a lot of time on like Tumblr and Archive of Our Own and that part of the internet in like the late aughts to the early tens, then you know exactly what I'm referring to when I say like I was one of those people. I loved reading certain types of fan fiction. I even tried writing some fan fiction. Aside from that, I've always just enjoyed creative writing in general. But it's something that I stopped doing, I noticed, toward the end of high school, just sort of as, you know, things got more stressful, I got closer to graduating, that kind of thing. And then I went right into college, and I've been in college on and off for about 9 years now. And that can be, like, really draining. At least it was for me. It really sucked the joy out of writing for me, because I was always writing academically. And I got really good at writing academically, but I didn't have the energy or the ability to even, like, sit down and try to write something creatively. I hadn't even attempted that for years. And then, you know, I sat down last month and I started just writing this book. I had absolutely no plan going into it. Zero plan going into it. I just started out a scene with a character and went from there. And I think it's developed into a really cool little story so far. I'm really proud of it. I've had my husband read what I have so far. I think I have about 90 pages written so far, and he's really into the story. He says that he really likes it. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through the story. I have the most exciting and also the most daunting part ahead of me still to write. So I've been sort of like putting it off a little bit for a couple of weeks now, but I need to go back to it. So I'm trying to talk about the story more so that I can sort of like, you know, put a little bit of pressure on myself to go back and finish writing, because I'm really proud of this project so far, and I really think that it's worth sharing with people, hopefully. You know, I'm not going to lie and say that I'm like the strongest creative writer out there, but I've been having a lot of fun, and I hope that that translates in the writing somehow. I think that it's really fun. I hope that it's fun to read. I hope that it's as much fun to read as it has been for me to write it so far. But I'll give you a little brief summary of the plot. A goofy group of teenagers find themselves sort of caught up in this weird, like, targeted messaging calling situation. They're trying to figure out who it is that's messing with them. They have some ideas of who it could be, but as they go on in the story, it becomes more and more clear that, like, the leads that they had are sort of right and sort of wrong and more spooky. And yeah, they're gonna have to do some things that are really unconventional to find out what's going on. And along the way, they're gonna find out some weird things about themselves too, and how they're connected with each other. I've got some plot twists planned that I think will be really fun. Yeah. It's been really cool. It's been a really fun process. The main character of the story, Opal, is, she's like 22. They're all like college kids. They're all about to graduate. They're sort of like this just misfit crowd of kids, and Opal has ADHD, like yours truly. She also has a limb difference. I really wanted to include those things, even though the actual character, Opal, isn't a whole lot like me. I wanted to make sure that I included some of those things because I never saw that kind of representation. I never read anything like that, where there's a character who had just had ADHD, or even less commonly, never at all, really, had a limb difference. And it, importantly, had a limb difference that wasn't like oh, it's a symbol, it's a metaphor for tragedy. They've been through all these things, and now this is a visible symbol of the things that they've been through. Or something like that. There were so many cliches that we love to throw at disability and use disability as a cover for. It's really important to me to write a character from a place of the things that they have going on with them, the ADHD, the limb difference, do obviously influence their perspective of the world. Their experiences influence who they are as a person, but it's also not directly connected to the plot of the story. Like, the story isn't going to end with, oh, she gets her arm back, or, oh, you can overcome anything. Like, none of those are going to be, like, the main points that I'm trying to drive home. None of that. I just really want there to be a character, some representation out there of, you know, some additional representation out there. I don't know if any exist. I haven't come across any limb different characters that are just like what I refer to as, and this is probably incorrect, but I just refer to as being passively disabled within a plot line, meaning that their disability isn't directly impactful on the plot line, nor is it a direct effect by something that happens in the plot, if that makes sense. I'm really excited to share this story with people who will hopefully appreciate seeing that kind of representation and just appreciate a fun, silly story in general. Like, it's a cute story. I think there's some parts of it that are a little bit heavier and more serious, but overall it's sort of a more comedic mystery thriller, which I know sounds like I'm doing a lot within one book, and I kind of am. I am in some ways doing a lot, but I think it'll work. I hope it'll work. So I will update you all on that process as we move forward. It's called What a Friend Would Say. I'll put the little book cover that I designed here. It's not like the most amazing book cover ever, but yeah, this is what it looks like. Stay tuned for that. I just paused the camera for a second because I needed to go grab something, and I realized I just talked for 26 minutes straight, which honestly, considering how little I've been around people and how little social interaction I've had lately, is a lot. This is still a little bit wet, but I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing things on here anyway because I feel like it might take a while to dry and I'm very impatient. So I've got these bigger eyeballs. I also have these smaller ones. I think we'll probably end up using a mix of both. But I'm gonna start with some bigger ones. Maybe we should actually do the feathers first. Now that I think about it, that might be a better plan. I would rather add them behind because I think it'll just like look better, but I don't think I can do that because it won't attach right to the actual prosthetic if I do that. So we're gonna just glue them onto the front, I guess. I don't know. I'm just figuring it out here with you all. Like, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I realize more and more the older I get that I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Yep. This is gonna be a vibe. You'll see. You'll all see. Yeah. Yep. I always get a little bit too cocky when I use the glue gun. I won't burn myself for like the first 30 minutes of using it, and then I'll just get a little bit too sloppy and I'll burn myself like 17 times in a row. So we're gonna try to avoid that. Okay, yes. Yes. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited for this. You have no idea. I have a lot of different things, a lot of different hobbies and things, and I don't think I've really talked much about them with anybody on the internet. You know, I haven't been here on YouTube for very long, but I've been making content for TikTok for over 2 years now, and I don't think I've ever really talked much about my other hobbies. People seem most interested in when I make arms, and that's totally fine. It's fun for me, but I do think it's like, you know, I'm not just a disabled person. Yes, I do have a very visible disability, and I like to have fun around that, and I also have chronic illnesses that affect every aspect of my life, but I have other interests as well. One of the things that I have been really into since I was a kid, that I've been getting back into more lately, is like storm chasing in severe weather. And I know that might sound weird, like, oh, I'm really into terrible storms that ruin people's lives. And it's not like that. It's like, I just think weather is like really fascinating. And, you know, when I was a kid, I was really attracted to like learning about like things like the Titanic and wars and just stuff like that, stuff that really scared me. And I think part of that is definitely like anxiety related, but part of it is also just like I really care about people a lot. I really have a lot of drive in me to like help people and protect people. And I think learning about weather and like how, like learning more about weather patterns and how it can affect us and how climate change is affecting changes in weather patterns, I just think that it's all really important. And okay, sorry, quick pause. I am actually really in love with this. This is gonna look super dope. So when I say that I really like storm chasing and stuff, I'm aware and concerned about those who are in the path of like any of these storms. Sorry, I'm trying not to burn myself. My brain fries out. Okay. But yeah, I just think that learning about weather is like really important science, and it's interesting to watch. I grew up in Colorado where we have a lot of storms. We have, of course, blizzards. But I also grew up in a part of Colorado where there were a ton of thunderstorms, and we had huge hailstorms. Like sometimes 3 or 4 big hailstorms in 1 week during like the late spring and early summer months. And of course, wildfires and just all kinds of stuff going on in Colorado. Tornadoes. I lived in the county in Colorado that I lived in, that I grew up in, spent most of my adult and teenage life in, has some of the highest rates of tornadoes in the country. So I've always found that really fascinating, and I think having lived in an area like that has just really amplified that interest for me. So anyway, lately I've been sort of leaning more into that and just learning more about it. Also, so back in the days of MySpace, yes, I am, believe it or not, old enough to have had a MySpace. Do you remember how we all used to like, well, maybe we all didn't, most of us, the cool kids, used to custom HTML and CSS code our MySpace pages? I did some of this when I had a Tumblr as well. You can adjust like the formatting, and you can have like, oh, a weird like static background and a music player and just all these other things. Well, I've been trying to get back into coding and trying to teach myself how to do other types of coding. I used to be pretty good at HTML and CSS. So I'm trying to refresh my memory with those things and also learn different types of coding like Python and R and that kind of thing, because I really am trying to pursue a career in social media. And I think one of the biggest ways that I see like a path into that, other than content creation like I'm doing right now, is through web design. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something that I think I could be good at with some practice and some knowledge. So I've been trying to get back into that, brushing up on my coding skills and learning some new ones. Okay, here's what we have going on so far. Very fluffy, very feathery. I think I want to have like 1 or 2 feathers kind of going the other way too, sort of like down over where the hand is, because I don't have a hand cover for this. But we don't want the hand to just be like, you know, sticking out unincluded in this. It'll look weird. Oh, my husband and I recently have been, so he's been rewatching. I've been watching for the first time The Walking Dead, the entire series. I'd never seen it before. I remember seeing it came out, the first season came out, I think, when I was about to graduate high school. And I remember watching a couple episodes of it back then, but I had never gotten into it and actually like really watched it. But we have been binging the entire show, and it's a long show. If you've ever seen it, you know that those episodes are long. So we just started season 11 last night. Oh man, the show is messing me up. It's got me in my feelings. And it's also got me really, really wanting to play and missing the old Call of Duty Zombies games. Now, I'm talking like Black Ops 2. That's like the sweet spot for me with Call of Duty Zombies because the controls are the easiest. In my opinion, they're the easiest. And, 3 is fun, but it's a little too hard. And I haven't played 4, but seems that the trend with console games is that they just get harder and harder over time. I've just been really wanting to play Black Ops 2 Zombies since watching The Walking Dead. It's really got me in the mood for it, but I don't have a PlayStation anymore, and I don't have... Well, we have a PlayStation 4, but I don't have a PS3, and we don't have Black Ops. So, that's a bummer. Okay, this is just kind of like a big feathery mess, but I think it's perfect for what we're going for here. So here it is. Give that a second to dry fully, and then we're gonna go in with some eyeballs. I think I'll start with the bigger ones, and then we'll add in some of these smaller ones as sort of like space fillers. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. I don't remember if I talked about it already, but I am going to visit my family for Christmas, and very excited for that. I don't get to see them nearly as often, and I just had my second niece was born just recently. I have not had a chance to meet her yet. She's so adorable, and I cannot wait to spend time with her and my other niece. Oh no, I set this down in the paint. No! Whoops. Okay, eyeball 1 has been placed. I don't know how it translates on camera, but it looks great in person. Anyway, while I'm down there visiting family, I have a plan for another arm that is also holiday themed that I really want to make. And I don't know how well it's going to go, but we're going to give it the old college try. And I will probably go live somewhere on my social media while we do that. Or at the very least, I will try to film it. Which, by the way, if you don't already follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, go over and do that. I post a lot of short form content over there. YouTube Shorts only allows videos that are up to a minute long, so there are videos that I post sometimes that are too long for this platform. Although I do try to cross post as much as possible. If you're having a good time, if you've stayed this long in this video, then make sure that you're following me elsewhere, because I'd love to see you around. Okay, we got eyeballs in a line so far. Love. Absolutely love. I've found it really hard as of late to spend time doing things that I enjoy, like art, for a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons being I just feel guilty about it. And I hate that feeling. You should never feel guilty for doing things that make you happy, especially, assuming that those things are things that aren't hurting other people. But never feel guilty for spending, even when you're stressed, even when you're like, man, I'm spending time drawing right now when I should be doing something to make more money. So at the risk of sounding cliche, you can't pour from an empty glass. You need to make sure that you are right, that you are taking care of yourself before you can go and do these other things. And yeah, there's, to a certain extent, it's like, okay, maybe you don't have the time, maybe you don't have the energy, maybe you just can't, or you feel like you just can't. But I encourage you, if you're feeling like I have been, to just try. Try to spend, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, doing something that you like doing, or that you used to like doing. Even if it's just reading a book. Read 5 pages of a book in the morning when you wake up instead of scrolling through your phone or something like that. It really helps so much with my mental health, and it's just good for you. It's good for you to refill your cup. Here's what we got. Oh no. Uh-oh. Someone's falling. Okay. So we're gonna give this a second to dry. Hopefully it won't all fall off. Please don't. Oh geez. Okay. Let's do a little patchwork here. You know, I'm surprised that it took me this long to come up with this idea. I love putting eyeballs on everything. If you haven't noticed by now. Or maybe you're newish here and maybe you don't know. But I love putting eyeballs on everything. Everything that I can. And I'm surprised that I have not already done this. Okay. So now we need to decide if we want to add some smaller eyeballs. I think we'll add a couple of smaller eyeballs at least, just for a little bit of spice. Dang it, I keep putting this in the paint. I'm gonna set it down here for a second. My arm's getting tired holding it up. I am very weak. Not actually. My arm is actually surprisingly strong. Dare I say buff, all things considered. Okay, I think it's looking good. I'll show you the finished product here in a second because we're almost done. So my husband doesn't drive at the moment. He's got some reasons why he doesn't drive. And so I take him to work and I pick him up. And a big part of me is very glad about that because I just imagine him walking in from work while I'm like crouched like this on the floor, gluing eyeballs and feathers. It's just something while talking to myself. I just, you know, not that he would expect anything less of me, but, you know, here's what we got. I feel like it might be missing something. I don't know what, but I'm overall very pleased with this, and I think it's time that we put it on the prosthetic and do a little moment here with it. What do we think? I think this is a vibe. This is what I should wear for Christmas, right? Right? Like this should be my part of my Christmas outfit. I'm thinking yes. So here it is, folks. Maybe not the most exciting thing that I've ever done, but I like it. This is fun. And I may end up, once I pinpoint what exactly I feel like this is missing, and feel free to comment down below, but I may go ahead and add in, maybe what we're missing is sort of like I don't know. I can't figure it out exactly. Is this a look? If I can pinpoint what exactly it is that I feel like this might be missing, I might come back in and add that. But I think overall, I think it's good. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to try to be more regular on this channel. It's fun to come here and kind of escape and just do crafts. Yeah, so I will see you soon. And stay tuned for both updates on my book, which I'm very excited about, and for the next weird craft thing that I'm going to be bringing to you not very long from now. Okay? Love you. Have a great holiday. Whatever holidays it is that you may or may not celebrate. And if you don't celebrate holidays at all, then just have a great break from work for at least a day, hopefully, or school. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye!